Why being born as Justin Bieber? Sucks being born. Justin Bieber is shitty because your life doesn't begin with your first conscious choice, but with the moment other people choose you. You don't yet know who you want to be. You don't even understand what it means to be yourself, and the world has already decided who you are supposed to become. Your name is a brand, your face is a product, your voice is an investment, and the most terrifying part isn't the pressure, it's that this becomes normal to you. You don't notice your childhood being stolen because you never learn what childhood is supposed to feel like. Justin Bieber's story is the story of a boy who became an adult before he became a person. He wasn't simply discovered, he was instantly lifted to a level the mind of a child is fundamentally not built to handle. Cameras, contracts, tours, expectations, all of it crashes down at once without any transition period. Where a normal teenager has room to make mistakes, he only has a stage. Where others have a closed bedroom door, he has a lens pointed at his face. He can't hide. He can't step back. He can't process fear in silence. Every step he takes is recorded, judged, and sold. When a child becomes an idol for millions, he stops belonging to himself. His emotions turn into part of the show. His personality becomes a problem for managers. His doubts become a threat to contracts. And slowly, he's taught the most dangerous rule of all. Don't feel too much. Smile when it hurts. Work when you're empty. Be grateful even when everything inside you is screaming. Because there will always be someone nearby ready to say, you don't have the right to complain. You have everything. And that is the most toxic lie you can tell a human being. Being born. Justin Bieber means growing up in a world where love is measured in applause, where silence is terrifying, because in silence you're left alone with yourself, and you don't know who you are without the music, without the stage, without the noise of admiration. You start to fear pauses, fear slowing down, fear disappearing, because if people stop talking about you, it means you're no longer needed, and that fear slowly eats you alive from the inside. People love to talk about his scandal years, about rudeness, breakdowns, aggression, reckless behavior, but almost no one wants to honestly admit the truth. It wasn't a collapse. It was an attempt to survive. It was a form of resistance. When someone lives too long inside a role that was forced onto them, sooner or later they start tearing the mask off, clumsily, painfully, sometimes ugly, because no one ever taught them another way. No one taught them how to be ordinary. They were taught how to be perfect. He grew up in a world where adults were always around, but equals almost never were, where there are crowds everywhere, but no real intimacy, where trust is dangerous because it might turn out to be a transaction. And at some point, you stop understanding who's with you because of you, and who's there because of your name. You start doubting everyone, and first of all, yourself. And without basic trust, a healthy personality can't exist. Being born Justin Bieber means not being allowed to be weak. If you're tired, you're ungrateful. If you're angry, you're damaged. If you lose control, you're a problem. The world doesn't want to see a broken idol. The world wants either a flawless ideal or a spectacular downfall, and both options are equally inhuman, because neither leaves room for a living person who simply couldn't handle it. He tried to drown it out. Speed, alcohol, chaos, constant motion. Because the moment you stop, you're forced to look inside. And inside, there's emptiness, built by someone else. And the most tragic part is that society didn't just watch, it enjoyed it. The downfall of a child who grew up in front of millions always gets more views than his quiet recovery. Later, he tried to change direction, faith, marriage, stepping away from the noise, trying to slow down. But even that was never allowed to be private. His path to healing was once again turned into content. His spiritual search became material for memes. His silence became fuel for rumors. His attempt to disappear became headlines. He can't just live. He's always making a comeback, even when he never left. Being born Justin Bieber means never knowing who you might have become without pressure, what your personality would be like, what mistakes you would have made in the shadows instead of under the world's spotlight, what your voice would sound like if it hadn't been shaped by producers, who you would be if you'd been allowed to grow slowly. It's a life without a rough draft, without rehearsals, without the right to rewrite the scene. Money doesn't compensate for a lost identity. Fame doesn't replace a sense of safety. Success doesn't heal trauma received at a time when you didn't yet know how to protect yourself. And that's the core tragedy. He paid for this success with himself, yet the world keeps demanding more. More songs, more images, more proof that he's okay now. And even if today he looks calmer, speaks quieter, and appears less often in public, that's not victory. It's survival. It's an attempt to assemble himself from the fragments left after growing up too fast. Because childhood can't be lived again. It can't be compensated for. It can only be mourned. And that's why being born Justin Bieber is shitty. Not because his life was hard, but because it was taken from him too early. Because instead of becoming a person, he became a symbol. And symbols are never allowed to be weak.